This biscuit, Mr. I beat the dude that beat you. Nice to meet you. What are we talking about? After I went live this morning, my man hit me up on the DMs and said, hey, what do you think about voting? Do you think we should vote? Do you think that we should not vote? Do you think we should vote? Or do you think we should not vote? Here's what's crazy, right? So, a study from Princeton University found, they didn't guess, right? This isn't an opinion piece. This study from Princeton University found that your vote has a statistically insignificant effect on public policy. What does that mean? Hold up, I'm going to say it again. Mr. Biscuit, Mr. I beat the dude that beat you. Nice to meet you. What are we talking about? Look, a Princeton study found that your vote has a statistically insignificant effect on public policy. What that means is that what you want to happen, let's say that there's something that's wildly unpopular, like bailing out Wall Street, right? When companies make bad decisions and when banks make, predatory loans, right? When those banks go belly up and when those businesses go belly up, it's wildly unpopular to bail them out with taxpayer money, right? Republicans and Democrats agree that that's corruption. Yet, what we want, if we really want it, it has about a 30% chance of happening. If the idea is wildly unpopular, it has about a 30% chance of actually happening. A Princeton University study has found conclusively that what the American people desire, our votes, have a statistically insignificant effect on public policy. What all of us want, like take an idea like Medicare for all. The majority of American people, specifically in the pandemic, you can look this up, don't at me. The majority of people want Medicare for all. They want single payer healthcare. It is an overwhelmingly popular idea, yet it has about a 30% chance of actually happening, right? So your vote has a statistically insignificant chance of influencing policy at all. Does that mean you shouldn't vote? No, that does not mean you should not vote. Well, what are you talking about? You just said it, your vote has an insignificant effect on change, so why should you vote? Here's why you should still vote. For the bottom 90%, for the people, for the bottom 90% of wage earners in this country, that statistic is true, right? For the bottom 90% of wage earners, whether or not they want something to happen or don't want it to happen, the chances are about 30% that it's going to occur. When it comes to elites and corporations, the likelihood that what they want to happen is going to happen is around 61%. And the likelihood that something they don't want to happen is going to happen is 0. This is the same Princeton study. That should blow your mind. That means if you're rich, if you're wealthy, if you earn $400,000 a year or more, or if you're a corporation, what you want to happen is likely going to happen. And 61% is not very likely still. It's better than 30%. It's more than double our chances, right? And the reason that the statistics are so skewed in the favor of the corporations getting what they want and not us getting what we want is because corruption is legal in Washington. I'm going to repeat that. Corruption is legal in Washington. You can buy politicians. A bank can hire a lobbyist and give tons of money to sponsor a politician's campaign with the promise that if that politician does the bidding of the corporation while they're in office, they can get out of office and get a high-paying corporate job, a job that pays in the tens of millions annually. And they do this all the time, right? So should you vote? I say yes, but you should only vote for a politician who has vowed not to take special interest money. And those politicians do exist. Shout out to Howie Hawkins. He has my vote already. I already put me and my wife's vote in the ballot box. To be sure, I mean, don't at me. Listen, I voted for Angela Walker and Howie Hawkins. So my vote matters. Just to be clear. All right. But if you're voting for politicians that are owned by banks, then yeah, your vote is insignificant, right? If we want affordable health care, if we want affordable housing, if we want anything, right, we have to deal with the fact that the two leading politicians, whether it's a donkey or an elephant, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, we have to deal with the fact that we're dealing with people who are already bought and paid for before they hit the podium, right? What we want has a statistically insignificant impact on what they're going to do, whether it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden. That's if you understand politics. That's if you understand what's going on. Whether it's Biden or Trump does not matter. Your vote is statistically insignificant with respect to what they're going to do in office. All right? And so I'm going to say it one more time. My man hit me in the DMs. He was like, hey, like, let me know whether we should be voting. What do you think about voting? Do you think we should vote? Do you think we should not vote? And my response, I'm going to just say it one more time. My response to the question, should we vote or should we not vote, is that there was a Princeton study done. And this study is conclusive, right? There's no questioning this, right? If something is wildly unpopular in this country, like bailing out Wall Street banks when they go belly up, bailing them out with taxpayer dollars, that's wildly unpopular with your average American. They're going to say that's terrible, that's corruption. Still, it has a, if it's wildly unpopular, it has a 30% chance of actually passing. And if it's wildly popular, we still get a 30% chance. It doesn't change, right? What that means is that nothing goes up or down based on what you think should happen. And that's for the bottom 90%. When you get to the economic elites, when you get to corporations, when you get to people making over $400K a year, then if they want it to happen, there's a 61% chance of it happening. And if they don't want it to happen, that drops to 0 for them. When we don't want something to happen, there's a 30% chance that it won't. When we want it to happen, there's a 30% chance that it will. It's 30-30 on both sides. If you make less than 400K, right? That means that your vote is statistically insignificant. That's how bought and paid for politicians are. I'm sorry, that's the facts. I mean, don't at me. You know what? Yeah. These artifacts. You know what I'm saying? Like Indiana Jones, these artifacts. Bars, don't at me. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Banks and corporations own the whole show. It's an oligarchy. It's not a democracy anymore. You know? So that's my answer on whether you should vote. I think you should only vote if the politician has assured you that they're not taking corporate money. That's the only reason you should vote. If you are voting for a politician that takes corporate money, just don't expect them to answer when you call the White House. You know what I'm saying? I'm figuratively speaking, you know what I'm saying? They don't work for you, right? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, it's all the same thing. They work for Halliburton. They work for Raytheon. They work for Boeing. They work for these big corporations. That's who they work for. Go on opensecrets.org. Go on opensecrets.org and type in your favorite politician, and you'll see who they're bought by. You'll see who's paying for your favorite politician. You like Kamala? Go look up Kamala. Guarantee she don't work for you. Guarantee she doesn't work for you, bro. You might like her. You might like the fact that she wears Timbs. You know what I mean? You might like the fact that Usher is rooting for her, that Ludacris is rooting for her. Yeah, she's rooting for them too. They're different than you and I are. You feel me? It's crazy that we're so into celebrities endorsing candidates. Yeah, man. So That's my answer to whether or not you should vote. Your vote should go to somebody who hasn't promised their policies to a corporation already. And that's it.